I'm Jane. I am a spiritual guide, helping people integrate their higher selves into the human experience with real live action steps. So I am inspired to hop on here and share something. So I have been talking about for a while now healing frequency music. I use it whenever I do cacao ceremonies. I use it when I have clients. I use it personally for myself whenever I go into meditation. I use it when I'm at my house, just chilling, reading a book, cooking, painting, whatever it is that I'm doing. So I have some of it playing right now in the background, so you may hear it. I'm using the frequencies of each of the chakras. So I'm starting off with like the root now. So we'll see how far I get in this. I'm not going to talk for the whole duration of the chakra system, but I wanted to hop on here and kind of share like why the hell I even use it. Like, why don't I use sound bowls, and what's the big deal with it? Because I find it really profound and like wicked helpful as we ascend and as we evolve and as we grow and as we heal and as we meditate. So many times, man, I hear so many people talk about how like when they meditate, like they have a hard time focusing because they have all these other things going on in their day and their mind and their life. And so for them to actually cultivate that stillness within, it takes more time than maybe they can carve out in their life. So first of all, the power of healing frequencies. Let's just start here, shall we? I feel like super nerdy with my cardigan on because I love cardigans and I'm chilly. So I feel like I need a pair of glasses, but I've already healed my eyes, so I don't need to wear them anymore. That's a whole other video. So, okay. So check this out. And I'm gonna say stuff that like, you can Google it. You can Google any of the stuff that I'm saying and probably get confirmation on so much of this. So the way sounds work and the way they heal the body. I'm gonna try to not go too detailed, but I really wanna make sure that the how this actually works is clearly seen so that it can be intentionally administered for the highest good of all beings everywhere. So we are, depending on our age, 60 to 75% water, okay? And we've seen all these studies that when a glass of water has sound frequencies or intentions and words, right, which all have a vibrational relationship to it. So when sound frequencies go into water, it changes the molecular structure and shape of each water molecule. It turns them into being, when frozen and they crystallize, they look more like these beautiful snowflakes. When frequencies and sounds and words, intentions are aimed at water and they are of a heavier density, negative, negative. I don't like using those words negative and positive. It just makes me think of magnets and one is not good or bad. Anyway, so when we have these like lower vibrations that go into, say, water, when frozen, the pattern that becomes still in each water molecule is also very similar to a snowflake. However, instead of it being so beautiful and symmetrical, it's a little bit more mutated. It's like, it looks like it started to almost like congeal with edges and then just kind of froze there, which is pretty interesting. So keeping that in mind, right, the water and how sound waves, frequencies, right, go into the water, how it will affect the actual shape of the water molecule. And again, we're like, I'll say 65% water. And we also know all the studies about how you talk to plants and what that does to the plant. So if we say the things to the plant, I love you, plant. Here's a plant. I love you, plant. You're amazing. You're gorgeous. I'm so grateful that you're here. I love the oxygen that you give me. Oh, plant, I love you so. Then the plant starts to really grow and flourish and become this big, beautiful plant. And if we say to the plant, I hate you, you're ugly, you're stupid, you suck, the plant starts to shrivel. It starts to die. It really does. It's kind of crazy. They've even done these studies with rice, like literally 2 containers of rice, and putting the energy, the words, the sound, the frequency into the container of rice that says, I hate you, you suck, and I love you, you're amazing, so grateful for you. This rice stays okay. This rice literally starts to get like black mold in it and gets like super poisonous. Like you could not ingest this rice. It would not be of service to your body. Okay? So keeping all that in mind. The plants, the rice, these things that are living things, living beings that have a type of a consciousness to it, because the consciousness in each plant or thing tells it internally what to do, how to grow, how to photosynthesize, how to take nutrients. There's a way of being in each of these living organisms that allows it to work without it having to stop and say, wait, do I have to grow this leaf today? Yeah, okay, I guess I'll grow this leaf, right? It doesn't work like that. There's this internal consciousness, this natural consciousness, this natural energy flow of this knowing and being of the plants, right? The organisms. So cool thing, back to we're like 65-70% water, we're also a living organism. We have a consciousness. Now we have a subconsciousness and we have a higher level consciousness. But either way, we have consciousness and we're forever growing and evolving. And there are so many aspects to us, like the plant, that we don't consciously think of. Like when we wake up, we don't say, okay, skin cells, start to regenerate. Okay, heart, start beating. Because if so, we would have died as soon as we fell asleep, right? We don't tell the muscles to produce certain things. We don't tell our hormone system, okay, I need a little bit more testosterone and I need a little bit more estrogen. We don't have to consciously think of it, right? This infinite consciousness of our being nature, of this alive thing that we are, tells us what to do and we just do it, okay? So as we think about that, putting all that together, we are consciousness with a system that moves on its own, that frequencies and sound waves will have an effect on us. So pausing with the sound frequencies, with the music that I use in meditation, it's so very important that what we say to ourselves, those around us, the world around us, especially in reflection, is going to have a huge, profound impact on our entire well-being nature. But for reals, like for reals, like legit for reals. So many times in our culture, we're taught that I'm not perfect until my hair just looks just so, or you're so ugly if you just lost 10 pounds, or if you were stronger, you would be worthy of love, or you dumbass if you should have known better. And we just say these really awful things to ourselves, or we just don't say anything and we even avoid a mirror like at all costs. So the sound waves that we get literally don't even come from us, from a higher intelligent consciousness. We do it when we see babies, we do it when we see puppies, sometimes when we see this amazing new thing for the first time, whether it's architecture or a flower or a piece of art, we can be like, oh my God, it's amazing, I love it so much, and then, and then we like ignore it. We are needing that too, to grow and thrive and be well, so that each of these molecules within us, this water baseline, can be the most natural, symmetrical pattern, so that it can flow through and start to, when they, I can't think of the word right now, brain fart, when a cell goes and it makes two, that's funny, can't think of the word, divides. When cells divide, if you think about, if you have this beautiful symmetrical pattern and that cell divides and it makes its own cells and that cell divides, right? You know, if you have a cell that's all like crank and you pull it apart, you've got like these mutated cells, right? It's crazy how this all like ties together. So as we use sound frequencies, we can amplify our well-being or we can diminish our well-being. The sound waves and frequencies that we use, our voice is, our intentions, because this is going to emit an energy frequency too, this pineal gland, this like electric center. You know, the heart, when we love something outwardly and aim it at something, ourself or each other or the world as a whole, it will send that vibration and that frequency to it. And this is where quantum entanglement and quantum physics starts to really matter down. So I'm going to go back like a typewriter. So frequencies. When we listen to specific frequencies, it helps our cells to shift at a very baseline level. It affects our blood, it affects our lungs, it affects our organs, it affects our glands, all over the place. It will affect literally our entire physical body in light. Because the frequencies, it's like if you have tuning forks and you hit one and the other one's gonna attune. You tune a guitar. We're attunable, we are an instrument. You know, we're a hollow bone, we're a channel. This vessel, you know, that we're in, this energy flows through us. We're not just like this little contained nugget. I mean, we're a contained nugget, but not like we're ever expansive. So this energy that we allow in and that we emit out heals us. So like I started off, because I will go down a rabbit hole apparently really quickly, which I'm going to make more videos and do all this stuff. Anyway, so the music that I use that you're hearing now, it's Listening to Smile. It's frequency minded music. I've been using it for years. And it has supported me in DNA activations, DNA deactivations. I was using it when I was in a deep meditation with people holding the space, and I deactivated certain genes within my system and activated new ones in light. And I was feeling in my physical vessel the shifts that were occurring, and the sound waves, with my intention, my open-heartedness, and the safe container, allowed these waves to really permeate and clear out the negative density within my body. Super healing. It's crazy cool, y'all. And I'm like going off in two different directions in my head. So I'm like, which one do I want to talk about? So I guess I will talk about the music. So, heals the physical body, right? So it also does this really awesome number on our brain. When we have healing frequencies, and I think that, you know, if you've ever listened to like binaural beats, they kind of go back and forth. Solfeggio sounds, they have this weird kind of tonality to it that you can't really place even like the direction that it's coming from. So the frequency music that I uses very specific frequencies, and it helps to attune the brain so that the left and the right hemisphere start to communicate with each other more easily. So we don't become one side dominant like we are in our culture, in the American culture. So it helps to really bring balance to that, which when this is really balanced, it helps the pineal gland that's in the center of the brain kind of stay hugged in this like super beautiful safe container, right? Like I mentioned before, if we're in a safe container, we have more space to expand and to heal and to let the vibes around us do their job. So we have this left and right brain, and it's doing the thing very much like the DNA strand. Look at that. The Ida and Pingala, Kundalini. It's all tied together. You look at any religions and anything, like all this stuff is talked about. It's so crazy. It's so cool. Anyway, so it helps to not only create a space for both sides of the brain to move and kind of communicate more easily, it also brings a sense of balance, right? If I'm always in this like logical side of my brain, I gotta produce, where do I go? Or if I'm always in the creative, like, oh, I'm just gonna paint all day, every day. There's this imbalance in life, and it will be reflected back to us in our daily life. So when you listen to this frequency music and the brain hemispheres start to really balance themselves out, the sense of inner balance like drops in to like the human experience. So we actually create a bigger sense of like peace and harmony and balance in our for real legit life, which I think is pretty rad. It helps also kind of balance connecting the brain and the body benefits of healing frequencies, because so many times our endocrine system and our nervous system, our body, right, can be extremely affected or impacted or directed by our brain, right? So like if my brain is going into like overdrive of anxiety about tomorrow and the future, I'm going to produce more cortisol and like just all these hormones that are going to wear my body down. Endorphins. I was thinking ephedra. I'm like, it's not ephedra, Jane. Anyway, endorphins. And so then our body starts to get taxed, right? And then we try to meditate and we can't because our body hurts, we're uncomfortable, and our brain is going all wonkadoodle. So when we listen to intentional music, intentional frequencies, and I'll get back to that. When we listen to these intentional frequencies, it will help to not only balance the brain, right? When it balances the brain, it will like affect the nervous system. It gets us out of our sympathetic nervous system, out of that like, oh shit, what do I do space. It gets us into a physiological, like parasympathetic nervous system. Everything's like, yeah, this feels real good. It like literally brings it all in. So now the thyroid is producing what it needs to produce at the rate it needs to produce it, right? Our adrenal glands are working as they need to, and not just like on hyper overdrive. It really has a marvelous benefit to the body and the mind. You know, I've meditated for a really long time, and it wasn't until I started to use, check this out. So I started to use like healing frequencies, finger quoting that, like on YouTube. Like I would be like, heart chakra meditation. And here's the thing. I don't know who the hell uploaded that. I don't know if that's legit. Like, I have no idea if that's legit. I would listen to some and I would feel amazing. I would listen to some and I would feel bad. And not like, oh, that triggered something that I needed to heal, but like, no, like I literally felt bad. The frequency that I was listening to on that YouTube was not legit. And there's no way for me to, I don't have the tools to test it. So the listening to smile music that I started using, one, super consistent, on point. I know Ian Morris. He is like so centered and grounded and intelligent. He uses this music himself. He's used it for his own physical and mental and spiritual healings. He uses it with others. I've been using it. So like I'm not going to prescribe something that I haven't personally ingested or taken or experienced, because that just doesn't feel good. Me using the other stuff, inconsistent, and that's what I was saying. Like I would do all these meditations and I would try to use all these other things, and I would either just like fall asleep. I can listen to binaural beats or solfeggio sounds alone, and I would fall asleep. And that's good. Like sleep is good. We need it. It helps everything reset and restore. But I realized that I would fall asleep because I wasn't enjoying it. Like I didn't enjoy the music. It wasn't like this is pretty, this is unique. Wonder what it's going to morph into. Wonder what kind of journey I'll be able to take with it. It was just like, meh. And my life is more than meh. Like, I like creativity, I like art, I like different things. You know, I don't want the same thing all the time, because eventually it starts to just become a moot point. It's no longer of service. It's like back to the plant and the water thing. I could say I love you, and eventually I could just be saying the words, just lip service. Yep, I love you. I love you. Yep, cool, I love you. The whole time I could be thinking like, oh, I fucking hate you. You know? And so over time, listening to the same repetitive, you know, sound bowls. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. I use sound bowls whenever I do like small group meetings, just to like attune the space. So nothing against any of the stuff. However, it's a pretty similar sound of a sound bowl. You know, you can get different frequencies. You got to carry them all around. But with this music, I have like for real gotten a profound shift. The super cool thing, taking it to the spiritual aspect. So, you know, we have a body, mind, and spirit. Going back to the plant, there's that consciousness that just tells it what to do, that we know that we just have it. It just is it is us. We are that infinite intelligence flowing in us in this body. So how the hell is like frequency music going to help our spirit? But for real, it does. One, because when everything becomes kind of in alignment and our brain is balanced, we are actively creating. We are feeling more inspired because we're not tired and exhausted and like going out of our mind. We have this presence and alignment about us so that we can live an altruistic life, so that we can create the reality that we can now use our imagination to envision, because we're more at peace within. You know, if I'm like super stressed out and I haven't meditated for a few days or years or whatever, and the only sounds I'm hearing are, you know, computers and fluorescent lights and television and like EMFs, like electromagnetic frequencies that are like of a lower vibration, that, you know, are congealing my cells in the water nature that I am, not allowing this infinite intelligence to flow properly through, because these cells are kind of like stopping it in its tracks, then my spiritual aspect has a harder time to be integrated and realized and experienced. So when we can be in that stillness and that meditation and using, like, it's a medicine. Like, frequencies are medicine. Sound is medicine. You know, we know this because, well, sound waves, energy is medicine. You know, we know this when we use scents and aromatherapy. You know, we smell lavender, that, like, it's an energy wave. It goes up through our nose, taps up into the middle of our brain and says, calm the fuck down, son. It's an energy wave. You don't have to eat it. You don't have to put it in your body. It's the smell of it. Sound waves are the same. So it helps our body, mind, and spirit to be this one aspect of this vessel that we get to live in. Because we're more than just the body. And we're more than just the mind. And we are more than just the spirit. It is when it's fully integrated and they're all working together cohesively, not fighting and pulling and pushing and shoving to see who can be the loudest one. That's when we thrive the most and we become the most well. It's where we quantumly heal ourselves and the world, our families, everybody in between. And I personally feel that there are certain things that really support that full integration, and frequencies are like on the top of my list. They're like presence, breath work. Those are the top two. Interchangeable. Take a deep breath, you become present, take a deep breath. And then, you know, ground yourself in, and for any extra support, you know, healing frequencies. Support the meditation, support the stillness, support the alignment. You know, cacao ceremonies, holla, open up the heart, live from that space, create more inspiration and creativity anyway. And be use your discernment on the frequencies that we choose. Am I listening to, am I watching a movie that's just like a war movie and it's all this trauma and drama, and so the sounds that I'm hearing are people screaming and people dying and babies crying and sirens going and guns shooting and bombs and all, like, am I literally like, oh, are those the sounds that I'm putting in to my body, mind, and spirit? If that were a plant or a glass of water, what would that do? I love water and I love plants, but from this perspective, I am more important. I need to be this well, right? This well, this vessel, this vessel of infinite consciousness of human organism, like the plant, and this fluid, beautiful, cleansing, purifying nature, the water that I am. So using discernment and choice in the frequencies that we use will greatly impact the culture and landscape of humanity. So probably going to just end this here. If you want to use this music, I'm an affiliate because I've been using it long enough that I'm like, I need to share this with everyone. So you can go to, I'll put the link below so you can just click on it. But you can like buy it. Like you can listen to some of it for free, but like, don't be a schmuck. Like, buy it. Like, support the medicine people. Like, support all of us that are giving and producing and sharing our love of wellness and well-being and love and love and love. Support it. And you can support it easily because when you use the code that's below, it's Jane Ritz, number 19, you save like 40%. And it benefits all, And like I said, I know that there are other beautiful musicians out there and other people that do healing frequency stuff. I have never in my life met anyone like Ian Morris. I've never used anything, any music, any frequencies that remotely compare to listening to Smile. Like, but for reals, the way it works is like a game changer. So if you want some of your own, click on the link, buy it. It's not expensive. Like, that's the thing. It's like really affordable. And if you start to do it and you're like, okay, I want to go deeper, I want to dive in more, you reach out to me because I guide meditations using it. And because I'm an affiliate, I have access to different music than you would have access to because I use it in groups and with clients and like in yoga classes and just in all these other classes that I provide these healing meditations in. So you can also reach out to me to have like your own personal channeled guided meditation to help to integrate this body, mind, spirit experience from your higher self's perspective to really ground that aspect of you in so that you live your fullest, most loving, harmonious life. It's my purpose. So holla at your girl. I want to be of service in that realm. I am of service in that realm. So, hit me up. So I hope that this was of service. Hopefully it maybe shined a little bit of a light on why I always have this music playing. If you ever come over to my house, you're going to hear it. If you do cacao ceremonies with me indoors, you're going to experience it. If you have a session with me, you're going to feel it. You will. Anyway. But I hope that this maybe brought a little bit of clarity on why sounds are so important. Not only the sounds we speak to ourselves, to each other, and to the world around us, but what sounds are we actually intentionally putting into this vessel? Are we attuning? Are we clearing? Are we balancing? Or are we increasing the space of like spazoid cells that don't want to do their thing with ease? It's a choice, totally a choice. I like ease. I like fluidity. I like ease. I like light. I like love. I like joy. That's another thing. Yeah, I'm going to add this and I'm going to peace out. So the binaural beats and all that stuff, right? It can get a little redundant for me and I'll fall asleep because I'm bored. I love this music. It's like pretty and it makes me feel joyful and curious. So when I am already, right, like, so now I'm feeling joyful and curious and easy, my vibration already shifts. So now this glass of water, plant, vessel, organism that I'm in has already kind of shifted a little bit just because I find the music pleasant. So now when the sound waves come through me, there's even less density for it to go through, and it tends to go through with more ease. So the medicine is administered more easily. Like a lot more easily. You know, if I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I hate the sound. I don't like the sound, but it's medicine. It stops the energy flow. I mean, the energy's still gonna move through us, but it's not as beneficial. And I like to make things easy and beneficial. So if you have any questions, you can send me a message. There are links below to give you more information or any information you may need. If you are interested in having a personal, small group, large group, sound meditation, guided meditation with healing frequencies, you know, reach out. I love to do this in, like I said, small groups, and I love to do it in really large groups. So it works great, you know, at work. If you need a mindfulness thing at work, holla, right? Your church, any group, your yoga studio, anywhere where you know that there can be an amplified benefit to the environment that you participate in. Let's do this. Or I can guide you to maybe which albums might be of best service for you. So I hope that this was of service to all beings everywhere through my thoughts, words, and actions. And I hope that everyone continues to enjoy their now and use their beautiful brain, their mind, and your body and your spirit to make these beautiful choices in life very intentionally, so that you can like create this new fifth dimensional reality that we're like literally consciously creating, so that you can do that all easy peasy style, yo. Anyway, have a great rest of your nows. I thank you so much. Namaste, y'all.